That would be why. I didn't even add myself to the stage. Ha ha. All right. So, can everybody hear me that's in here? I see there's some watching in here. Let's see. All right. Well, sorry about that. So, if my voice was not in here, I apologize. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to make this a weekly show, I think, starting this week. Every Tuesday, get on here, go live, talk a little bit about, hey, Robert, how you doing, buddy? Talk about Booster Club updates, news, what's going on with the club. Then maybe get into probably more than likely get into a little bit of talk about the Raiders and hopefully have some guests from the club eventually in the future coming on. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Get some people in here. It'd be some get people to meet some of the club members. So first, for the members of the club itself here in New England, this weekend, the 22nd of December, is our annual holiday party. It's going to start at 1 o'clock. You got a 4:25 game, I believe it is, against Jacksonville. So at 1 o'clock we'll be starting. Just kind of like a mingle time for the first hour or so. Then we're going to do the Dirty Santa. Anybody that is familiar with it know that the usual gift we try and do is anywhere between $20 to $25. Please let it be Raiders related. Don't let anybody sneak in any Patriots shit. I know some people like to be funny and try and do that, but please keep it to Raiders stuff. Um, and after the Dirty Santa, the food should be out at that point. The food is being prepared by two of our very own, Kyle and Mike, are going to be doing the food for us. They got a pretty damn good menu going on, so it should be a good food uh, selection this time too. We're also going to have door prizes. We're going to do the 50-50, but we're going to pay the 50-50 out twice. So we're going to pick a winner first, then we'll pick a second winner, and then we're going to pick some door prizes after that too. Also, that day is the day that we are going to choose the winner or pick the winner for the neon sign that we have made up. It's sealed up still in the box. I didn't take it out. It's still wrapped in the plastic, so none of it's getting damaged or scratched. We will set it up on Sunday at the bar again, like we've been doing every Sunday, to plug it in so everybody can see it. People that have not seen it, it is actually, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll actually see it in there. It's actually our logo, just as you see on my hat here, and it says New England Raider Booster Club underneath, and then it's got the logo itself. It is an LED. It can be changed to different settings as far as like you can pulse the light, you can make it super bright, you can make it lower. So there's an remote control that comes with it, and it comes with all the brackets to mount it on the wall too. So the tickets are $5 for 6 tickets. Um, all proceeds from that are going to the Road Home Rescue, which is a organization that specializes in helping set up adoptions for dogs. Let me see. I can put that up. I did have it. Where is it? Here it is. That is the website for that organization. We're also asking anybody in the club that can also, if they want to make donations of either dog food or dog toys, on that website we'll show you a list of what they're looking for as far as the type of dog food, or specifically it doesn't matter with the toys as long as it's just dogs. They don't specialize in cats or any other animals. It's strictly just dogs with this organization. um, yeah, any help that we can get them is greatly appreciated. It's completely run by volunteers. They're a total nonprofit, so any donations they get throughout the year, they greatly appreciate it. It helps them keep these dogs um, happy and healthy while they're up here before they get adopted. So that will be Sunday that we will raffle that neon sign off. And then also the big news is we also have our elections. Anybody that's not going to be here this weekend has already been given the information as far as how to vote for it. If you have any questions on how to vote, just reach out to myself or Mark Lafredo, our secretary, and we will get that taken care of for you. Um, Anybody that will be there in person can vote in person on Sunday. So all positions are open. Um, so we have running for president is myself, Vice President is Tony Ramos. Secretary is Mark Lafredo. Treasurer is Dawn LaFontaine. And we have 4 people running for 3 positions on the Executive Directors Board. And those people are Bruce Hendrickson, Kyle Rondo, Dennis LaFazia, and Carlos Lopez Estrada. So those are the 4 people running for 3 different positions. So unfortunately, one of them will be left out, unfortunately. So those are the voting. We have no other issues with as far as voting going on for the weekend or for this coming year. All positions will be finalized by about halftime of that game Sunday. All members of all officials that get voted in will take effect as of January 1st. All right. So let's bring this up. This is the Linktree account for the club. So if you click on that, that will bring you to all our social media platforms. In there is everything: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, our website itself, and our Facebook group. It's a private group, so if you want to join it, just click on the join. I'm usually the one that goes through and approves or disapproves. So as long as you show that you're a Raiders fan in your profile, whether it be a picture or, past history of being a Raiders fan, because if you're a Chiefs fan or a Patriots fan, you ain't getting in. We boot them people out because we don't want to deal with drama from those teams. So we keep it strictly for Raider fans. Let's see. How you doing, Robert? How you been, buddy? So that's pretty much it for club news, I think, at this point. Let me just see. Is anything else going on that we need to address? Just hope everybody can make it this Sunday. Obviously, there's no cost for the food. It covers the club is covering all costs for the food for Sunday. We will have merchandise available. So if anybody needs to buy any shirts that they don't have, we will have T-shirts, poker chips. We still have going right here. Hang on. We still have these too. Sorry, I should have brought it over with me. We have the Raider Beers that were made for this year. The New England IPA with Citra and what Edie hops. 7% alcohol by volume. They're 12-ounce cans. On the back, we had these made for the 20th anniversary party that we had week 1. So there's the logo that we used for the 20th anniversary. And if you see this long list this isn't the ingredients that are in it. What this is a list of all the members in the club. So everybody's name is in here. So it's actually pretty cool. It's also pays homage on this. I gotta put my glasses on. Sorry. This also pays homage to our founding members: Jason Goff, Bruce Hendrickson, Uncle Kevin Janicki, Scott Conti. And then it also refers to our lifetime members, which is Mark Van Egan, Stephen Cowboy Darrigan, David Frun, Lisa Shelton, and Larry Turgeon. Those are our lifetime members. Those are ones that have actually passed away, except for Mark. Mark Van Egan's still with us. He lives here in Rhode Island, for those that don't know. And then everybody else that's a member of the club, like I said, is listed right here in this part of the can. So this is something we haven't done cans before. This is the first time we've actually done cans. These are going for, I believe it was $8 a piece. Don't hold me to that. We'll get clarification. Unfortunately, Treasurer Dawn is not home right now, but we will have what we have left of those beers. We will have with us on Sunday. And like I said, we have the challenge coins. We still have 20th anniversary T-shirts. We have some of our older style shirts still. I did order. We've got poker chips and a couple of little odds and ends stuff. I think there's still koozies left too. I did order brand new beanies like this, and magnets to put on the car. They're going to be in the shape of a football. It will have our QR code on those magnets. Unfortunately, they won't probably be in time for Sunday, but as soon as they are in, I will let everybody know on the Facebook page, and those will be available. Not positive on what we're selling those for just yet, but we'll let you know. I know the hat's going to be 20 a piece. We've got a limited run on those. We just did a minimum order of 25. So we're getting 20 in black, and 5 are coming in pink with black lettering on the pink. So if anybody wants one of those when they come in, hit me up, let me know, and we will get them out for you as soon as we possibly can. I think that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it with club stuff. I mean, I know it's been an off season for us just on how the way the team's been playing and just issues with, you know, primetime games or, whether it be a primetime game or Black Friday. We haven't really had a chance to get together as much for as club members like we have in the past. What's up, Rita Paul? How you doing, buddy? We haven't been able to get together as much this season as we have in the past. Plus, I know it's difficult. It's hard for members to get up for the team when they're playing so horrible. There's not much to be excited for, unfortunately. Love it when we're playing well and we have a lot of people there. Cam Ward. um, when we have a lot of club members there, it just makes it a lot more fun. So it's been a little rough this year as far as getting everybody enticed to be there. On Sundays to give up their full Sunday to spend it with us. But I mean, we're trying. We're doing what we need to do as the executive board to keep everybody engaged as best as we can, which is why one of my main goals when I took over as president this year was to increase our social media footprint. By starting the YouTube channel, by converting my own personal TikTok, which had like over 2,000, converting that over to the Booster Club, which I did, and that's growing pretty damn good now. Instagram, we started fresh again. Twitter, we started fresh. I haven't done too much with Twitter. I've been trying to stick with the Instagram and YouTube. And we have one of our executive board members, Kyle, his girl Jess, has been running our TikTok, and she's been doing a heck of a job with it. So I appreciate that for doing that. And yeah, Cam Wood. I'll get into that. She's been doing a great job and helping promote that and get more followers on there. So I appreciate her for helping out with that. Um, yeah, it's just been a down year, and I've always said this that we're a victim of the product that gets put on the field. So if the team is not doing as well, it's tough to retain members to have them come to the bar and hang out, because people aren't engaged right now because of that. So it's like this is why I'm trying to help grow it even more, and letting people know that we're out there. These Raider fans, we're not just local. We're here all the way out in New England. We're as far away from Vegas as you can get and still be in the 50 states. You know, and we've got a pretty good sized following in this club. We're close to 100 members in total between the states that we have members in. Good chunk of them are from Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and it's mainly because those two areas are so close to each other. Um, and it's tough being here in enemy territory for the past 20 years that the Patriots have been, in their, I guess I can say it, in their dynasty. So it's been rough, and now to see how bad this team has gotten this year. I hate bashing on the team, but last night's game just it snapped something in my head upstairs last night. It just I don't think in all my years of being a Raiders fan, and it's been a long time, that that might have been one of the worst games I think I've ever seen, and most non entertaining game on our end too. I mean, it did there was nothing to cheer for. It was just horrible. It's just this team is just sad this year. It's horrible. I sometimes I just sit here and I just have no words. Like I literally after that game last night, I just sat here and I was just like dumbfounded. You know, I know we got nailed with injuries and everything, and it's just depressing. Yeah, right now I'm just wishing for the draft at this point. You know, it's oh, you're from Colorado. You want Sanders, huh? Yeah, see, I'm not sold on him. I'm sorry, I'm not sold on Shador at all. Yeah, I don't know who this Miles Standish was. I know Miles Standish is um, a park in Plymouth, Massachusetts. So I have no idea who that is. But yeah, I'm not sold on Sanders or Ward, to be honest with you. And here's my reason why: because you're going to take that first round pick, and I think it's wasted. It's wasted value to grab either one of them in the first round when you knew darn well they're not going to start next year. Because Dion's even said it; he wants Shador to sit for a year. And I'm sure Cam Ward's also going to sit for a year. You know, Brady's already said he wants the quarterback to sit for a year. I'm not taking anything that AP says right now because I honestly don't know if he's going to be here at the end of the season. You know, so he can talk a good game from now until Mark Davis decides what he's going to want to do with him. My feeling was to take Travis Hunter with that first pick. You're already going to keep AOC. You're not going to let him go. You can't let him go. You can't sit there and say I'm done with him. He's going to have to be your he's going to have to be a bridge quarterback until whoever you draft. Because more than likely, if you don't draft one of those two, you're going to wait until the second round and take one of the other quarterbacks. This is not a super heavy quarterback draft this year like it was last season. In the 2024 draft. So it's a little bit different this year. You've got two, and then the rest are kind of could be starters, could not be starters in the future. Technically, we kind of do have a quarterback right now, if you think about it. Um, I mean, AOC is kind of the quarterback right now. Let me just go through this. What's it say? You want Hunter? Yeah, I do want Hunter. That's definitely, yeah. There's definitely not too much drama with Hunter. I mean, the thing with Hunter too is he's going to come in. He's going to be an immediate starter because you're going to put him out there right away. That position is different than a quarterback. A quarterback. If they now, here's what happens. So everybody's pushing for Sanders or Ward. Now, if we get them and they don't sit and they come out and start right away and they are just absolutely god awful and can't get out of their own way, we still can't win any games. We're not even showing improvement because number one, there's no one for them to throw to. you know, other than Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, you still need that number one wide receiver. Jacoby Myers is not your number one quarterback. He's a good number two. You know, he's only being number one right now by the pure default because Devontae Adams is gone. So it's like my whole thought process was to with that if we finish with the number one pick, we draft Travis Hunter, and then we watch the first round for a little bit here. And when it starts getting close to like pick 7 or 8, those two quarterbacks are going to be gone because the Giants are going to take either one of them. Someone else is going to grab the other, or they're going to move up to take them. We try and get back into the first round by offering up our 2026 first round pick. Okay. And our third round pick that we're getting from Devontae Adams this year. And you try and get back into the first round, hopefully around pick number 10. And at that point, you grab the best available, whether it's an offensive guard or, guard you can get later, a defensive end, cornerback, somebody in the secondary. I'm fine with that. Even if it is an offensive lineman, you go with an offensive lineman. And then in your second round, that's when you start looking to get your quarterback. Because there are quarterbacks that could potentially be your starters going forward. We kind of got to go all offense, to be honest with you, because I look at it this way: our defense is pretty. We've got some of the right pieces there on defense, but then you also got to look at free agency now too. If we don't grab a running back early in the draft, then what I would suggest, because the free agency would be before the draft, I would go for Najee Harris as your running back. You bring him in so he can groom McCormick, because McCormick is not shouldn't be going anywhere because he showed some really good progress this year, and I'd like to see them give him another shot. So if you bring Najee Harris in as a free agent, he's like the only running back I would want. Nick Chubb, I don't trust his injuries. He just got hurt again this weekend, so he's already proven that part. When you play defense if you can't score. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have no choice. Yeah, and look at the quarterbacks we drafted in the first round. We don't have good history drafting quarterbacks. Number one, not at all. I mean, you're talking Todd Marinovich and you're talking Jamarcus Russell. I don't want to say his name. The experience that we've got with drafting quarterbacks has not been good at all in the first round. It's horrible. As far as Travis playing both ways, I would primarily draft him with the intent that he's going to play wide receiver. But you can still put him in certain packages on defense when you play certain teams. So let's say we got to play Minnesota next year. Okay, you put him out there for a little bit against Jefferson. You put him out there to shut down or attempt to shut down their number one wide receivers. That's the only time I would have him playing defense. Or if we're in a dire need, if we're close to winning a game or losing a lead, then you might want to throw him in there just to see if he can make a difference in it. But I think he comes in with the full intent that he plays wide receiver because we need it. We need a number one wide receiver. And we definitely need a running back. We need guards because Parham is not the answer. We need a cornerback and get him a free cornerback. We can definitely get in free agency. I mean, there's a lot of talent that's going to be available this year. As far as on the defensive side, offense not so much. Like running backs, I mean, quarterbacks you're going to be limited on the free agencies. Yeah, I mean, again, we got 21 free agents. We got to figure out what they're going to do with them. Some we want back, and some we definitely don't want back. Spillane's got to come back. We got to get him back. Chaseon's got to stay. Kuntz, we have to hope that he comes back from his injury to the same form he was in last year. That would be awesome. Then you got Max back, full health again. That's why they took him out early and let him go get that surgery done. Cut Diablo, pick up a linebacker. Yeah, I'm not opposed to saying bye to Diablo, to be honest with you. Even Jack Jones, I'm not sold on him either, to be honest with you. He shows flashes, and he's too much of a head case sometimes too. Like he just does stupid shit sometimes. But our main goal needs to be on offense right now to get this offense set. That's where we're just lacking. The defense has played pretty damn good this year, even for having a lot of injuries. There was a lot of times that we were, we came close to winning some games. I mean, Kansas City twice. We had a legit shot to beat them 2 times this year. The first game, I think if Wilkins would have still been there and not hurt, we probably could have won that game. And the same thing, even the second one, it still came down to the very end. I mean, we had them. We didn't miss those field goals. We had that game. My predictions on Tank Bowl, Jags versus Raiders. Hopefully ALC will be a quarterback. This is a tough one this weekend because they are so bad, Jacksonville, that there's a chance that we could actually easily win this game. But yet, do we want to? I mean, it's going to hurt our draft position, that's for sure, if we win it. But, I mean, as Raider fans, do we want to see them win? Of course we want to see the Raiders win. I still would like to see a win, but I know how much of an impact that's going to have on us because that's going to drop. If we lose, that's going to drop us back to, like right now we're number 1. We've got the potential to fall back to like pick number 7 or 8 if we win 1 or 2 games the rest of the way out. Because I don't see Jacksonville winning another game. I don't see the Giants winning another game. So there's a good chance that we're going to fall back enough to where we might not even have a shot at either one of those two quarterbacks to begin with that everybody wants. Who on our team deserves an extension? Just Spillane and more. Spillane for sure. Um, I'm fine with Mooring. I'd like to see us keep Kuntz. I would definitely like to see us keep Chase on. I'm fine if we want to stop the experiment on Tyree. Trade him away if we can to get something for him. Some team will take him. I mean, he's shown progress this year, but not enough in my eyes. He's had too many opportunities. Yeah, Mooring's yeah, it's a 50-50 on him. Let's see, the NFL wants us to mess up and keep losing. Of course they do. But like people have always said, the Raiders being good is always a good thing for the NFL too. But I don't know how true some people think about that. But NFL just hates us. Roger Goodell hates us. The refs hate us. We're always we're always on the wrong end of everything. It seems like um, we just got so many holes. There's so much to fill, and this game yesterday it just showed the lack of depth that we have. And granted, yeah, on defense, depth, even on offense too, with our running back room, we've taken a hit in our depth because we've had to put everybody that we had on the roster back out there because our team's so bad. It's so bad with injuries. We're just riddled with them. And now you lose Max for the rest of the season. Now McCormick's done for the rest of the year. So there goes your running game. So now we got to deal with Madison and Abdul. Hopefully they get Lobby in there, get him some play time. I mean, let's see what this kid can do. You know, hopefully, hopefully they can produce something with him, get him going a little bit, just to see what he's got. Evaluate his talent instead of just in practice. Drive a QB, build that O line, get a running back and a wide receiver. Yeah, but again, if we get a quarterback in the first round, they're not going to play. So you're not going to be doing anything with them until 2026 season, based on what they're predicting. You know, but yeah, I mean, we definitely need an O line to protect whoever's going to be back there, whether it's AOC or a rookie. It doesn't matter. We need O line. We need guards. We need two guards. I'm fine with Glaze. Glaze is incredible this year as a rookie doing what he's doing. I think he's having a tremendous season. JPJ is just awesome. And Colt Miller, he's had a rough year this year with the injury and everything. So it's like he's another one you could seriously consider possibly parting ways with. I know he's a free agent next year at the end of the season. I mean, we're not going to get anything for him because we're probably not going to re-sign him. It might be better to try and trade him away this during the draft to get something for him, get more draft picks. It's all about equity. We need more draft equity as much as possible because we need a lot of bodies on this team. This team needs a lot of depth. We need as many extra picks to bring in as many guys to try out for these positions as absolutely possible. Let's see. If we win, we go to 7th pick. Warden Sanders would be gone. You're absolutely right. What position after QB do we need most? I mean, if the quarterbacks are gone, if those two quarterbacks are gone, I mean, we definitely need a running back because I don't see us bringing Abdullah back. I wouldn't mind a rookie quarterback. I wouldn't mind an offensive lineman. Take the best available. I mean, at that point, if they're gone and we're picking at number 7 or past that, we just take the best player available, period. Just like we did at 13 in this last draft. We grabbed the best guy and look how that turned out. Yeah, what's his name from Alar, whatever, the kid from Penn State? I guess he's not coming out. He's going back. He's staying in college for another year. They announced that yesterday. So there's no shot of getting that kid from Penn. I wouldn't mind Dart. what I've seen on him, I wouldn't mind Jackson Dot. I would like to see Bradley play a little bit too this season. Before the season's over, get him out there, get him some experience. You know, this at this point, what are we playing for? We're not playing for anything other than pride. Oh, pride, what? I mean, if anything, this time now should just be used to evaluate the talent that's on the roster that's not injured and can play. So if it means uh, letting Bradley out there and go for it. Let him. You know what? Let him play the whole second half of a game. Even this weekend's a perfect time for him. Jacksonville's horrible. Get him some play time against Jacksonville. Let's see. What do you say here? I didn't even watch the game last night. I watched it. I was on live last night with Turf, and I've never heard us not talk so much as I did. There was nothing to get excited for last night. Nothing. 3 field goals. I mean, come on. It was just such a letdown watching that game last night. It was horrible. There seemed like there was no heart. There was no anything in that game. Neither one of you guys watched it. You didn't miss much. It was a horrible, horrible game. Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I mean, he's not bad too, but yeah, you don't want a short little guy. You don't want a Kyler Murray, height wise. I mean, Kyler Murray's talented though. I will give him that. Yeah, I just think if we win, we're not going to have a shot at either one of those two at that point. They're both going to be gone. Because I think the Giants would take Cam Ward, although I wouldn't be surprised if they still try and take Sanders. But either way, the Giants are taking a quarterback. They need one desperately. They're in a worse position than we are, to be honest with you, because at least we have a quarterback that they got nothing to fall back on. I mean, Tommy DeVito. At least I could have faith going into next season with AOC as our starter. To be honest with you, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't if we were stuck with like a Tommy. I wouldn't be fine with going in with him as our starter. They have to get a quarterback. So that already right there's one of them gone. So now you look at the other teams that are drafting. Who else is going to take a quarterback? Yeah, Vegas is a rough city, man. I mean, look what's happened so far with some of these players. I mean, with DUIs and it's just I for that fact alone, it's a rough city to put an NFL team. Just the fact that it's such a party city, and there's so much that these players can do to get in trouble, and I mean, we're seeing it firsthand. We have not had any success since we moved to Vegas. Not even a hint. I mean, the closest we even got was like the year that Gruden, resigned. That was the closest we got to having anything of a type of success, and then Josh McDumdum came in and destroyed that team. He took a team that could have been a playoff team and just totally trashed it. Yeah, and I've seen that with Cam Ward too. He definitely seems like he's more mature. Talon Green, a great prospect, 6'5". That's like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see us staying in Oakland. The city wasn't helping the team. You know, you got to look at this move. This move wasn't a football move. This was a business move. And if you're a businessman, which Mark Davis obviously is, this was a tremendous, tremendous business decision for him to move this team from Oakland to Vegas. I mean, he's increased the value of this team tenfold since they've been there. They went from a few $100 million worth team to, it's in the billions now. What's it, like $3 billion value on this team? You got a brand new stadium, a dome. You got a stadium that can be used year round too, and it's gonna be used year round. So it was a smart move on that aspect. For a team and football issues or standpoint, Mm-mm. I don't think so either. Not at all. Monte was off a hiring head coach. Oh yeah, he is. He's absolutely. You look at the ones that he's hired. Gruden eventually didn't work out, and that was all because somebody found a random email when they were going through the Redskins um, court proceedings and shit, and go scouring all the emails. Other than that, he probably still would have been a coach, but they found that, and he had to do it. You know. Yeah, and the draft classes that we had. A perfect example is this past season. With the 13th pick, we take Brock Bowers with the current regime in there now. You go back a few regimes, we wouldn't be taking him at number 13. That would have been a reach. We would have grabbed another shitty ass quarterback because we needed one. We would have grabbed a quarterback at number 13 that wasn't worth a shit. When you could have had a guy like Brock Bowers. Luckily, we had a guy in there, Telesco, that knew value when he sees it. And all you had to do was watch a couple of Georgia games last year. You knew what you were getting with this guy. I knew exactly who and what we were getting in a player. And I am so glad that we got him. Now we just got to get somebody that can protect the quarterback to get the ball to him on a more, permanent basis. So let's see what else going on here in the chat. Yeah, I went to opening day when we first opened the stadium, beautiful stadium. Just too high price tickets. Yeah, supposedly the ticket prices are coming down right now too because the team's such shit. So people aren't showing up to go to these games. I mean, I'm hearing prices that normally are like close to 1,000, going for like 250. So I mean, it's a big difference. It's a big jump. Let's see. If we got a QB in the draft, I'll go to a game. I'm sure a lot of people would that too. Again, you're gonna, no matter what though, Raider Paul, you're gonna have to start AOC next year. You're gonna have no choice. Especially, I shouldn't say that. You're gonna have no choice if it's a rookie that we draft and they're gonna sit him and let him learn. Other than that, I mean, I honestly don't think Sam Donald's going to be available. I think he's going to stay. I think Minnesota's going to probably take another flyer on him and probably tag him. I wouldn't be surprised if they make him their franchise tag. And McCarthy, it's not like McCarthy was there sitting the bench and learning. He can only do so much because of the injury. So his real learning year is going to be next year. So you might not see McCarthy stop until like the 2026 season. And if that's the case, there's only one left. There's only one left. Sorry, hold on. As I say, yeah, if that's the case, I mean, they're going to have to sign Donald to another year. So that changes that with the with Minnesota and their quarterback issue. So we'll have to wait and see what they do. And again, we can talk all this about who we should draft, what we should do. It's all doesn't mean anything until we figure out what's going on with the coach's situation. Hey Sal, what's up, buddy? It's all up until what they're going to do with the coaching. They're going to keep AP, they're going to let him go. Who we're going to bring in? They shouldn't be getting rid of Telesco, not at all. They should not be letting him go because he did a good job this year so far. Just the draft alone proved it. Let's see. It's like my uncle said, when we went to Vietnam, he was young and was in the front lines. So if a quarterback comes out of college, you better go straight to the front. Yeah, but you're gonna chance a first round pick on that. I mean, I'm fine with it. They want to throw him to the wolves, go for it. But you better make sure that front line showed up, or he's gonna get eaten alive. His first start, they're gonna be gunning for him. If we can't protect him, then we're only going to kill this kid. You know, it's not good. You know, I hope we're coming back soon because I can't handle this anymore. I mean, I was 14 years old the last time we won a Super Bowl. I'm 55. That's a long haul. We're talking a long time. You know, I'm to the point now where am I even going to see them win another one before my time comes? You know, I think if AP's going to go, it's going to be for Vrabel. I don't want an unproven coming in here. I'd rather have Vrabel come in. Dayball's probably going to get fired from the Giants. I would bring Dayball in as your OC. I'm fine with keeping Graham as our defensive coordinator because I think he's done a hell of a job with some real shitty players that have been stepping in because of injuries. And the only other coach I don't want to see us fire, in all honesty, is Philbin. Because since he took over as offensive line coach, he's done a tremendous job with that group, minus Parham. I think Parham's a bum. He's done a tremendous job with that offensive line, you know, to getting them ready. And they definitely have improved since he took that over. So I wouldn't get rid of him. You know, I would definitely keep Graham and Philbin for sure. Everybody else can go. I don't want anyone else staying. You know, like I said, bring Vrabel in, bring in Dayball. Um, you don't need to switch out your defensive coordinator. And then you just fill the ranks with everybody else that you need. You know, that's going to be worth anything. Yeah, it's about the same time for me too, Robert. 76. Watching him play in those games that season, along with the Super Bowl and everything. Yeah, that's the year I became a fan. You know, so that's why I was ecstatic when we made it to the one against Tampa Bay. You know, but that quickly went right out the window the day of the Super Bowl when your center goes missing. Offense can't get anything done because their defense knows everything that's going on. That was just a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Let's see. Mark Davis needs a fade haircut soon. It's let Seymour and Brady plus can make all the. You know what? I kind of agree with that. I'm not gonna argue that one at all. No, Mark Davis has even come out and said that he's not a football guy. You know, he doesn't know football like some owners do it. I mean, there's some owners that think they know football, they don't. Jerry Jones is a perfect example of it. You know, he's just stuck in his old ways. That's why that team has just been horrible for years now. You know, they make it to the playoffs and they get spanked. You know, same thing with like the Chargers. You know, the Chargers they get to that point where they're gonna look like they're gonna make it, make a run in the playoffs, and then they choke too. You know, so I just that game last night just I don't know anybody else. I know some of you guys didn't even watch it last night, but I just that was by far the worst game I think I've ever seen. Just there was no heart, there was no desire. It was like it's like they just wanted to all go home. They didn't even want to be there. That's how it made me feel. You know. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Arnie. You know, from a business standpoint, it was a smart move on Mark Davis's part. You know, he got even richer out of it. You know, people keep saying Mark needs to sell the team, sell the team. He can't sell the team. He technically doesn't own it. His mother owns it. So until she passes on and leaves everything to him, there's nothing he can do with the team until then. You know, and even if he does sell it, who's he going to sell it to? You know, who's going to step up and buy this? You know, do we want another one of these billionaire guys that come in that don't know shit about football? You know, does he sell enough shares to where Brady can take over even more instead of his 10% stake? You know, or I honestly don't know. We're in uncharted territory with this team right now. This team has never looked so bad and so disorganized as it has this season. Al Davis is probably rolling over in his grave right now, watching this product that's on the field and the turmoil that this team is going through. Yeah, he should have mentored him, but obviously he never did. I think Mark was too busy making friends with all the players back then and not really paying attention to the team, how to run it. Yeah, we're in uncharted territory with how bad this team is. In all my years as a Raider fan, I don't think I've ever seen a team this bad. And we've had a 2-win team before, but I don't think they were as bad as this or look as lackluster as this. It the coach is. I think he just gets out coached. He's in a bad situation. I honestly, I was in AP's corner for a good chunk of this season, but I'm starting. I got the towel in my hand. I'm ready to throw it in for him because I think it's just too much. I don't think he can. He's not handling it right. There's just something that's just not clicking in there. I don't know what it is, but it's just the, the dysfunction. I just, yeah, you know what, Rob? I feel the same way too. I want to see a football Super Bowl win, not just show up and play, but I want to see us win a Super Bowl before I go. I'm feeling it's going to be like the 1918 Red Sox, where it's going to be 85 years before we win another Super Bowl. You know, I mean, at least I get to see them win some. I got to see them. Well, some. I got to see them win all three of their Super Bowls, but I want to see them win one now, man. It's ridiculous. It's been almost 40 years. Actually, it has been 40 years. Yeah, Arnie, he's definitely in on it. He looks lost on the sidelines. I mean, I know he's got the headset on and he's hearing the plays that are being called and everything, but you look at some of these other coaches that are just so engrossed in what they're doing. Like, a perfect example, Andy Reid. Andy Reid standing there with the Denny's menu in his hand, and he hears the play that the offensive coordinator's calling, and he can look it up and see that, hey, listen, do you really think that's going to work? We just ran it 3 times in a row. Why are we still doing this? But I don't even think he's in that thought process at this point now. I mean, at this point now, it's like I think everybody's just mailed it in for the rest of the season. You know, am I saying that the players aren't playing? No, they're still playing, but it just makes it more. It's just so it's difficult to watch when they're on the field. It's like I can't even explain what I'm seeing sometimes because it's just so bad. I've just never seen such bad football. And just some of the basic stuff that's just so bad. And I don't know if we can wait for Arch Manning, but I mean, I don't know. He hasn't really even played that much. I mean, I think everybody's just infatuated with the who he is. Genetically being a Manning. I think everybody's just hoping he's going to be like the next Peyton, not Eli. I'd rather have a version of Peyton than Eli. Um, just like everybody keeps saying, like, oh, this quarterback, we bring him in, he could be our next Rich Gannon or our next Jim Plunkett. Stop with that. That ain't happening again. Those were far and few between, and we got lucky with the Plunkett one because I mean, in all honesty, he was a bust until he got to us. He hadn't done much of anything. They got drafted by New England, sat the bench in New England, then they got shipped off to San Francisco, and then we ended up picking him up, and he didn't even start right away for us, and then he finally got in at the right opportunity, and it was magical. He won 2 Super Bowls for us, and should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he should. You got guys like Kurt Warner wins 1 Super Bowl and he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it. You know, Plunkett should have been in years ago. You know, Rich Gannon, same thing. He was a career journeyman, went from team to team. And we finally got a hold of him. Gruden knew how to use him right to make the team successful, and that's what happens. And that's the other thing. That's why you have to wait and see who's gonna be your head coach in the OC, because that depends on what type of quarterback you want to go for. So I mean, like I said, we can have all these pipe dreams of what we want to pick for the draft and who we should pick, and people stop fighting. It's just like politics. One person wants Democrat, the other one wants Republican, one wants Ward, one wants Sanders, one wants Hunter, one wants neither of them. So we can sit here and hem and haw over all this, but until a decision is made with the coach, a decision is made with who's going to be the offensive coordinator. Once those two are set in place, and you kind of got an idea where they want to go with that team going into 2025 and what they're going to be looking at for a draft pick, then you can start really getting into the meat and potatoes about, what would be the better pick based on those coaches' past history and the systems that they've run. So that's why I don't get into arguments with people as far as who we should draft, why we should draft them. I just give my opinion on what I thought, and I've laid it all out there on a couple of different shows that I'm on. Um, and my thought is out there. I put it out. If it comes to fruition, that's awesome. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm not gonna be pissed off if we draft Sanders. I'm gonna have to live with it, and we're gonna have to hope that it works out in our favor. You know, if it fails, am I gonna turn around and sit there and tell everybody I told you so? No, because I'm not a dick. You know, well, I can be. But I'm not going to sit there and tell people like, "Oh, I told you we should have done this instead." I might just sit there and say, "This is why I didn't want to go this route." And there's no telling what would have happened if we went my way versus the way that we ended up going. That's you can't change any of that. So once the pick is in, that's it. We're stuck with it, and we're gonna have to live with it as Raider fans. We've dealt with shit in the past. We're gonna have to deal with it again coming up in the future with this team. I'm just tired of mediocre to less type play style. Like no drive, no desire, no heart. And I normally don't say that about this team. I'm usually upbeat about everything with this team, but last night just showed me so much that there was no bright spots. I mean, what was and anybody that watched it, please tell me what was exciting and great about that game last night. Because if you saw something I didn't, there's only one takeaway I take from that, and even he got hurt, and it's Lalu, who I don't even know how you pronounce his name, the defensive tackle there. He had a decent game. I will give him that, you know. But it's like, other than that, McCormick never even got a chance to get really rolling. He blew his ankle out, so he's done for the rest of the season. It's just that was just bad football last night. Horrible football. Did you take 2 tank years with AP? Get Powers, Hunter, and not spending sweepstakes. I don't think I don't think any of us could live with another year like this. If this happens next year, oh good God. I I don't even want to think about what would happen. Draft the center first round. I said it earlier on another show. I was in the chat. I said it this way: let's just grab the kicker in first round. I mean, it worked once before, grabbing a kicker early. Let's take another one and give it a shot. Let's see. NFL prospects ranking both Sanders and Ward outside of the top 10 on talent by every scout. QBs going 1 and 2 because of need, not talent. Oh, yeah. And that's why I said I think it's a wasted pick taking them so early. Because I don't think they're worthy of the projected spot that they're set to go in. You know? Best highlight of the 15 and 9 is the final score. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing in that game last night that made me feel like there was any promise for next week or well, I mean this week we got Jacksonville and they're just as bad, if not worse. But I mean Mac Jones is gonna be their quarterback again and he's horrible. It's the whole reason why New England got rid of him. Can't even get it done in Jacksonville. But it just there was no bright spot. I'm dying to see what's gonna happen this Sunday. It's gonna be freaking interesting, I gotta say that. Um, You know, like we do highlight shows. Like on Wednesday night, I'm on with Leo and LV Rate of 10 and Jay at Just Win Raiders baby. And luckily we're only going to preview. We only do the preview for the upcoming game because I don't think that there's really doing any recap of last night's game is almost like wasted wasted time. There's nothing to even discuss. We lost 15-9. We sucked. We looked horrible. Ritter is not the answer, obviously, either. Um, Brock Bowers only got 3 catches or 4 catches, 3 catches. So he's still sitting tight at 90 catches on the season. He's 104 or 140 yards away from breaking Ditka's record. So he's got 3 games to do that. you know. So either way, he's probably going to break 1,000 yards. But is he? Who knows? So luckily on Wednesday we'll be previewing the game coming up this Sunday in Jacksonville. So don't forget to catch that. Anybody that's out there, it's 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. We stream on all 4 of our channels. And then Thursday night, the Raiders Coast to Coast with myself and LV Raider 10. And we also stream that on both of our channels. That one there, we do both games. We do the game that we just played Monday night. We'll preview Sunday's game, and then we will talk about anything else in between. Sanders and Ward are behind Penix and Talent. They came out last year. Well, the other thing too is AOC. If he didn't come out in the 2023 draft, because he could have stayed one more year in Purdue, he would have come out in this year's draft. Also, he could have done that. He would have been a first round pick more than likely. So we got him in the second round. Well, it was the third round, but whatever. We got him. Maybe it was second round. I forget. But anyway, we got him that year. I mean, we just got lucky that the 2023 draft was not a heavy quarterback needed draft. Not a lot of teams needed quarterbacks. Like this past draft, my God, everybody needed a quarterback. Of course, the one year that we were looking for a quarterback, we couldn't even get a shot at it. We tried moving. Everybody thought Penix was going to be there at number 13 for us. Nobody was expecting Atlanta to take him. I know I definitely wasn't. And that's why when they picked him, I was like, what? Are you shitting me? So instead we took Bowers, which I'm glad we did. I mean, we got a really talented player for that valued pick at number 13, and we didn't overreach and take a position that, we might have needed to fill, but we would have been reaching for it when, we took him, and everybody at that point was like, why do we need 2 tight ends? Well, now you see why. Which is why I'm also pushing, if we do switch coaches out and we need an OC, that's why I'm pushing for Daboll. I've seen what look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a product of what Daboll did for him before he left Buffalo to go to the Giants. He turned his shit around and got him going in the right direction. And he was also a coach in New England at the height of when they had Gronk and Hernandez there. So you look at that tight end combo. We've almost got that same type of talent here with our 2 tight ends. So only good things on the horizon if he would have come in with those 2 guys. Even Gronk has said that Bowers is as good as Gronk and could be even better. Gronk said this, not me. Gronk. I'm not a fan of Gronk, obviously, because of the Patriots, but you still gotta respect what he does. Let's see, recap and pain, pride, poise, passion, what Raider Nation is feeling. Stands there watching TV while smiling. EP has the same presser from week 1 to week 15. Yeah. Yeah, his demeanor hasn't changed at all during the season. He's had that same look. He doesn't even look like he's pissed off half the time. He's just up there smiling, and it is what it is. What do we got to lose? Some of his quotes. What do you got to lose? You got a fan base that's super hungry for competition. You got a fan base that loves this team. You get a fan base that would give anything to see us win something. You know, at this rate, I want to see us win a game, but I mean, we've won 2 games, and that was back at the beginning of the season. You know, against one team that it was a miracle we beat them, Baltimore, because they're such a good team. I just don't think they were gelling right at that time. They've only gotten better since that game. You know, we got lucky we played them early in the season. If we would have played them a few weeks later, they would have destroyed us. You know, in Cleveland, we squeaked that one out. You know, that was another potential loss. We could have actually gone totally defeated this season, to be honest with you. We could have gone this entire season with not a single win with the way that we're playing. We just got lucky those 2 games and we won those 2 games, you know. And I had great hope after we beat Baltimore. I thought, all right, maybe we're on the right swing here. We'll see what happens. And then it just went to shit after that. I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, too. Please, no Las Vegas Patriots here. uh, yeah, I mean, I know some people say that about Vrabel. Oh, it's just another guy coming in the Patriot way. No, no, it's not. Because you got to remember, he went on to be a head coach of another team and had success with that team doing it his way. You know, Josh McDaniels tried taking what he was doing in New England, tried it in Denver, didn't work worth the shit. He got run out of that city after a season and a half. Then he goes back to being an offensive coordinator back in New England. Then Mark Davis decides to give him another shot here, which that was a bad move to begin with. And he comes here with his Patriot way bullshit, bringing in all these Patriots players. The only one that was worth keeping was Jacoby Myers. I mean, yeah, Abdul's been okay for us, but Jacoby Myers, I was happy when we got him because I know what he can do because I've seen him here in New England do what he did. You know, so I'm fine with Jacoby Myers being here. Other than that, the rest of the Patriot bullshit can go fuck off for all I care. You know, and I said this when we hired Josh McDaniel. The moment he took and accepted that job, that set this club back 5 years, right from that point. And it proved his first season because he totally destroyed the team that he took over. You know, he ran Carr out of town, changed everything. The team was just not performing well. And it showed in his second season because we were so bad that he got fired, less than halfway through the season. So here we are now. We're at the 3-year mark now from the time that pretty much almost the 3-year mark from when he got hired. And we're still just as bad. If actually, I think we're worse. We're worse now. And a lot of it's because of decisions that he made when he was still a coach here. We're still paying dividends for that. We're not getting anything in return for what we've picked up while he was here. So we're still 2 years away from even thinking about recouping from this. It's just, this is horrible. I would cut Andre James. I would have cut him weeks ago. I would let James go, Parham go, Zamir White, Minshew for sure. Minshew's got to go. Why would we even bother keeping him? I think it's a waste to keep him. AOC 12 would be the only quarterback right now that I would keep. I can't say yes or no on Bradley because we haven't seen what he can do. I know Ritter. Well, bye. I'm done with him too. He couldn't get shit going last night. And everybody was like, "Well, you played good towards the end." Yeah, garbage time. It's the end of the game. Defenses let up a little bit. They just play to prevent the scoring, or we definitely need an upgrade at wide receiver. I'm not crazy about Higgins. It's going to be too much money. I don't want to sing. When we can get a running back like Najee Harris for probably about 10 mil, and then you're going to have T. Higgins coming in wanting close to 30. I'm good. He want 20. No. And he's got an injury history too. I'm not crazy about Higgins. Yeah, but what 2 QBs are we talking? We talking one with our first pick and then one later on in the second? I mean, we could, but I mean, we've got more needs than grabbing 2 quarterbacks, man. I don't know about that. I mean, you could, and then you'd have open competition for the rookies for who's going to be the backup and who's a third stringer. because you know AOC's got to start the year. He can't you can't start the rookie right away. Not until you know our O line is for sure cemented in there. I mean, I get why you would want to draft two quarterbacks. If you draft one in the first round, I wouldn't be taking that second one until like late in the draft, like fourth round and beyond, as as a potential. But I don't know. I think we need to put our emphasis on wide receiver, running back, and um, um, wide receiver, running back, and offensive line, and then start looking at your secondary and the defense. Which also can be addressed in free agency too. So I mean, there's plenty of options out there in free agency. Again, it's just a matter of who we're going to get, who we're going to let go from our end. They were in the same draft. Oh, I didn't know that. Robert Griffin is it? That poor kid, man. He got ruined. He got ruined. That Shanahan screwed him up. That kid could have had a real decent career. Definitely Spillane. Boring. 50-50 on that one, but definitely Spillane. I mean, this guy's a Raider through and through. I mean, he's the only one that actually is out there right now. I can't say I would normally say Max, but he wasn't even playing, so he's done. But Spillane, that's the only kid out there that seems to like be in on every goddamn play that he could possibly get on. That's just the way the kid's wired. He's wired like Max. He doesn't have an off switch. He doesn't slow down. But we've got a lot of holes to fill. Some people say like, oh, when the season's over, there's not a lot to talk about on these shows, right? No, I think it gets even worse. So there's even more to talk about because now there's so many different things, and as soon as the season's over, the first talk is going to be what do we do about coaching. Then it starts getting into what do we do at free agency, who do we re-sign. Then you get into all the draft. Mock draft issues and who do we want, what's our weaknesses, what's our needs. Let's see, St. Kuntz. I want to see Kuntz come back, but again, we don't know how he's going to be after this injury. I mean, we lost him before the season even started, so who knows what type of impact he could still have. I hope it's the same impact he had last season because he was great last season. That's why I think a lot of people were surprised that Max went out early in the took the rest of the season off for the surgery. The sooner he gets the surgery, the sooner he can start the heal process, the sooner he's back to 100% before OTAs, possibly. So I'm kind of glad that he did address that because you don't want to see him down and out for any great length of time. Like you don't want to be worried about, comes training camp. Well, he's still iffy. We don't know when we're going to get him back. And, you want him up and running as soon as possible. Chason, I think Chason definitely needs to be re-signed for sure. He's shown his value. You see why he was a number one pick or a first round pick at one point. But so I've been on for an hour now. I think I'm gonna head off and go relax for a little bit. So I thank everybody for coming in and adding to the chat here. That was huge. I really, really appreciate it. So let's bring this up. So again, if anybody goes to that link I just posted, that'll bring you up to all our social media for the Booster Club. And let's see, Smiling EP is too common collective. He completes tank job, get another year and new OC and franchise QB. I don't know what's gonna happen there. I get ready to eat dinner with the family. Appreciate Jeff, and as always, Raiders. Thanks, Robert. Go eat your din. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. So again, Wednesday nights, Raider Connection, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. You can catch that at any one of our 3 channels. Be on mine, LV rated 10, Cheetah Lannis, and um, Just Win Baby, Raiders J. See you, SoCal Sal. Thanks, brother. And then Thursday night, it's myself and LV rated 10 doing the Raiders coast to coast. So until then, see you around. Booster Club members, take care. I'll see you all on Sunday and leave you with Go Raiders.